Hello and welcome to Geekatplay Studio Tutorials. In this tutorial we continue exploring particles inside the Vue 11. And we're going to create Avalanche. So to do this, let's go first create our particle emitter, and I will just use a simple plane. We'll go put it above so we can observe. Okay, next we'll go to create cubes, and these cubes will be kind of maybe simulating mountains, so we can see much easier how they will fall down. This is one. Let's create another right here. We'll select two of them, and I will right click and let's enable collisions. As well, what I want to do is for the ground as well, let's enable collisions on that one as well, so that our particles will kind of detect ground and these cubes. Next, we'll go inside the plane and we'll go to create particles here. The first I want to do, just set transparency. Let's create ecosystem and we'll enable particle motion for this. Next, what I want to do is enable right here populate only once. So we don't need it flow for that reason. If you notice on the Avalanche, many times what's happened at start and it's kind of rolling down, it doesn't going like a stream, waterfall or other things. So we'll do this way, and I'll just set to maybe 1. Okay, we'll now need add, and for the test what I'm going to do, I will just use it as simple wall so we can preview them. It will be blue as a first. Okay, let's create this one. Right now we preview, you can see there we have it fall, and they're going down like right here. Okay, so we'll see some of them fall down and they're sliding down. Okay, this is a one kind of preview. Next, let's increase maybe scaling to 2. So we'll have a bigger size. We can preview again. What has happened with Avalanche? They need going down. They kind of, when they go down, they kind of collecting. When it's become flatter, they start slow down, splitting on small and stopping. So for this one, we can go inside the functions and driving with functions, editor size and live depend on a slope. But for this tutorial, we won't do this. We'll just program everything with a timing. So we'll use it just a normal time for calculating depth and other things. In other tutorials, when we go closer with function editor, we'll look how to do this by function driving. But right now, we'll just look on the mechanics and how you can create interactions between particles. So let's go right here. We have our particles on top. First things, what I want to do for them, I want them act a little bit more intuitive. So I'm opening particles characteristics. We'll go in properties. And right here, first, what I want to do, it is increase a little bit. So we'll put it 10 kilograms each per particle. Maybe one even do bigger, we'll see. So they start acting a little bit more heavier. Okay, next what I want to do, it is actually add elasticity. So just a little bit, they will be kind of jumpy, because if you remember, you see all the small options are kind of going around. So we'll increase this elasticity. And you know what? 50 maybe a little bit too high. I'll set to 20. Let's see. And we'll go down and we'll see kind of jumping, you know, maybe increase to 30. Let's set 30 right here. Recompute, and again I will go. Okay, let me click right here on this menu. So kind of falling slightly. Yeah, it's a little bit better, except some of them jumping a little bit too high, and it's because we have right and plus minus, so I will just set to the 10 on this. Again, this is a variation. This is our value, and this variation for the particles, just to add randomization, so you can see, okay, yeah, that is a little bit better. Okay, it's still a little bit maybe high. Let's put it 5. So that's much better. Next, what I want to do, it is change during an evolution. So when they're going down, I want them kind of increase in size. For that, we'll go right here and live variation. So we can do with altitude, but we're going down. So I want to do live size variation here, and we actually pop up this. Let's go set to the 15 right now. Here to 5. Click and view it, and we'll see how fast it will be. Okay, right here. Let's go try again. Again, you can see how they're increasing in size. So it's kind of nice. And right here, they need kind of die when they come to probably around here. They need to start dying. So we'll say about 2.5 seconds. We'll go inside that. Click, and let's say about 2.5 seconds, plus minus half second. Let's preview. You can see they're going down, then increase in size, and about right here they start decreasing. Okay, right here. So again, going and kind of dying. Okay. The next what I want to do, we'll tweak a little bit more, but it's overall kind of give you some idea what's happening. Next, you'll go on this particle. I want periodic emission. What's happening when all the snowballs they're collecting, but they also produce dust. So for this one, we use periodic emission. So I'm going to load it, and I will just load for this maybe green one. Okay. You'll notice right here we have it time it. It's clock. It's tell us it's timing its periodic emission. So I will have this velocity. One thing, let's click on a green, and I want disable inherit as well because it's a light. I want to set 0.01 weight, a little bit lighter. Maybe we'll even decrease more. So the particles, you know what, maybe 0.5, like this even. The reason is why, so when they will come calculating, you can see they kind of start going a little bit on the back. Also the life increasing, so let me go right here, maybe decrease to 10. Okay. Next, what I want to do, also increase life for this one. Well, actually size, so we'll go to set maybe around 8. Okay, let's click and preview. Here we're going. They're increasing, but not as fast as I wanted. And let's enable that. So those ones, I don't want to stay them forever, so they need to appear. And we will give it those particles maybe a lifespan of 1 second. Yeah, they're going around. And you can see kind of disappearing. Okay, let's go to evolution and pop up this value to 15. Again, we replace, right now this is just a blue, green, so we can see easy. When we're done with mechanics, we can go inside and modify materials to apply correctly one. So right here you can see we kind of have followed them. Okay. So right at this point you can see when they kind of disappearing, what I want to do, I want them to start splitting in small parts. So for this one, we'll go back to our blue one, to main, and on the death right here, I want to add. So what's happening when on death? I don't want to clone to anything. I want to create different particles. So we go load, and I'm going to preload the red ones. So we'll add, okay, here. This up in death, and this one's actually same. I'll select properties. I want inherit velocity. However, mass, I want to maybe set only to 5. We can work with this a little bit more as well because the scale is a little bit bigger. So I want to set for the scale, we'll go right here, look at evolution, and it's 10 times. So it's a 10 will be. So I want begin size maybe about 6 or 5 for that. So we'll recompute for that one. Next, evolution, actually, I want them decrease in size. So to decrease in size, we can have it deviation, or you can do also 0, 0, 1. it's another how you can divide, and we'll set this one to 0 as well. So in this case, they kind of start decreasing in sizes. And if we preview, you can see on the death they're coming, and it becomes smaller and smaller. Okay. Of course, right here, let's add velocity for these ones, and maybe set this to 25 and 10 right here. Preview, so we have it them fall down, and I kind of okay. Next, what we notice, if we go back to the depth, you notice right here we have it velocity. We actually have it count, and I want set to the 3 and different ones. So it's meaning it will create from 2 or 4. It's between, randomly will generate between those. So when we're creating, you can see right here we have it a little bit more in the spread, except blue start disappearing too fast. So what I want to do on the depth, I want to add 1 second. So it's additional half second random. So some of the blue particles will leave from 1.5 seconds and some at 3.5 seconds. Okay, and this is again on a depth, it will start creating red ones. You can see they start appearing, and there you go. Now we have it. But red ones stop producing emission, so we want to do this. We'll select red one, go periodic emission, and one nice thing, because we already have it, green ones, which is, if we look, it will have it same kind of properties as our other greens. So when because SETI used the same particles, we don't need to modify them. So in this case, we'll go back, creating, and you can see our green ones still producing the smoke, and they're kind of disappearing. So let's also take our red particles. We'll go on a depth right here, and we'll maybe set them to about 3 seconds for now. I don't want, we can create on a depth, we can also add green one as well to right here, and in this case maybe to 2 seconds. So you notice how we start nesting them. So what is happening, we have it blue, which emit green particles. Up at the depth, blue turning to the red going for about 2 seconds, and when they're disappearing, they actually turn in a green, and there you go, and all dust and all settled. Right here we have it kind of ours and particles. We'll click OK. Let me click on the camera, a little bit readjusting, maybe around here. I'll go add a keyframe. Next, what I like to do, I will type 8 right here, so we'll go directly and add keyframe. We'll go to the plane. Okay, and we can playing, and you can see they're going down, creating red, and of course we can add a little bit more if we need it. Okay, let's go back. Next part, when you kind of done with the particles, and again we can readjust more, we can go inside, maybe add some turbulence to this, maybe 1 turbulence, which is, you can see it will add some randomization how they're going. I'm not necessarily like this, but it's an option, and the reason is why, because we have particle summits too light, we want for the fog, but you can modify that way as well. I will leave it default velocity as before for the smallest particles. I'm just want to verify, so we do create smoke properly here. Evolution is decreasing. Then we have a 2 seconds, maybe a little bit less. We'll see how it will work. And we're also creating some smoke going from this. And right here, okay, let me open this one. I want properties. We don't inherit anything, so it seems like it's set correct. Next, what we want to do, it is actually replace with particles. What does meaning with the material, proper material. To do this, let's replace first for our smoke. I'm going to open, And you have two options. You can select and going right here, edit material, or you can edit properties and go inside edit materials this way. So what I'm going to do, it's right here, for example, we open. And again, how I says, this is our smoke. We can go inside and we can preload it, which is kind of nice this way. So we'll go to volumetric. Okay, let's go see. We have clouds right here. We have volumetric materials. And for this one, just let's maybe select shaded white smoke. So we'll go apply right here. We'll click OK. It's preparing ecosystem. Okay, next, now if we preview, you can see it start creating smoke. Again, because we replace all particles, and right here you can preview on the screen, we have it. So it will replace all of those particles. Next things we can go and replace with a snow. So let's do same things. We'll open and we can modify material here, or as example, I'm kind of go inside and says, okay, we have it in the rocks, we have it, or let's go to landscape and just select the snow. Click OK. Click OK. It's reapply to all. And same to these ones. We'll open and we'll add as a snow. It's okay. Let me select right here. And now you can see we have it snow coming down. The other things we also can do, we can modify our particles to act specifically, for example, a little bit more fuzzy. We can increase density as well. And with this, you can see we have it more of the particle coming. As well, in some cases, you want to replace maybe those particles with a little bit more fuzzy materials. Again, this is just to preview so we can see how it's created. And of course, it will be on a mountain. But when you're done, a couple things what I recommend. It is, actually, let's call particles. So particles, emitters, and we can call this Avalanche. So I recommend you save this as a material so you can preload it. As well, if you just have it particles, you can go inside and save the particles itself as well. So if you open, you can go and save the particles specifically with those characteristics. So you can reopen after and reuse them. But I do recommend so you can save it, and next when you apply it, you can apply this to any other ones. Let's do one thing. So we go right here. Maybe, you know what, maybe add a little bit more smoke to this point. Maybe they don't going high enough, but again, this is kind of give you some idea of particle motions. And again, we can work a little bit more with materials so you can preview how they work. And I can show you some examples of when I apply this with different materials. So let me go ahead and preload that scenery. Okay, so right here preloaded, and we can take our camera. Right here you can see emitter, and we can kind of going down, and you can see, okay, when it's refreshing, it's take a little bit second, but it's applied also different type of material. So we're creating some smoke going, and well, smoke, the particles of the snow start going, and smaller particles as well created. So the one warning I want to give it to you, because it's particles effects, it's take time to render and all that stuff. Be sure it's quite a bit intensive will be on your system to render. So be sure you have it, maybe render farm or other things you want to produce, because you can see even on preview it's take a little bit time till it's refreshing. But again, I'm using quite a bit heavy hair particles, so I have it volumetric materials as well as fuzzy materials, so I have it different type of them. And if you preview, for example, in this area, like, okay, let me preload materials. You can see, for example, a snow. I found out it's easy if you just created fuzziness, so they kind of blend very well together when you create those particles. You can, if you're interested, you can create as well as a meta blob, maybe more kind of put together, but I found out if you create more particles as a snow and fuzziness, they look a little bit more realistic than meta blob in that case. Okay, so thank you for watching this tutorial from Geekatplay Studio, and be sure to check us for more tutorials about Vue 11 at www.geekatplay.com.